I was already late. The kind of late that you feel in your bones. The kind that makes your heart race and your palms sweat. I had an important meeting, a pitch that could make or break everything I'd been working on for the past 6 months. My phone buzzed again, a reminder that I was now officially 10 minutes behind schedule. But of course, fate had other plans. As I sped down the long, lonely stretch of highway, my car started to sputter. It was a gentle cough at first, like it was clearing its throat. But then it happened again, harder this time, as if the engine was choking. I pressed the gas pedal, hoping for a miracle. But instead, my car gave one final sigh and rolled to a complete stop. Great, I muttered to myself, thumping the steering wheel in frustration. The meeting, the presentation, everything I had been working for was slipping further away by the second. I was stuck in the middle of nowhere, miles from the nearest town, with nothing but a dead car and a ticking clock. I pulled out my phone and dialed roadside assistance, mentally calculating how much longer I would be late. But when the automated voice on the other end told me it would take at least 45 minutes for a mechanic to reach me, I groaned. I couldn't afford to wait that long. Not today. But I had no choice. I hung up and leaned back in the seat, staring out the windshield. The sky was overcast, a dull gray that matched my mood perfectly. I checked the time again, still 10 minutes late. My pulse quickened. I needed this job. I needed to make it happen. Then, as if the universe was mocking me, I saw a dust cloud rising in the distance. A truck, I assumed, barreling down the road. I hadn't expected any traffic, but there it was. I waved my arm out of the window in a last-ditch attempt to get some help, but the truck passed by without slowing down. I sighed. Of course. And then, as if on cue, the truck pulled over to the side of the road. I blinked, unsure if I was seeing things. Maybe it was just my tired mind playing tricks. But then the engine cut off, and a door slammed shut. My breath caught in my throat as a tall figure emerged from the truck, a muscular frame outlined against the clouded sky. For a second, I thought I recognized him, but the exhaustion and anxiety clouding my mind made it hard to focus. I blinked again, and that's when I saw it, his tattoos. Dark, intricate designs winding around his arms, disappearing under the sleeves of his shirt. The way his black jeans hugged his hips. His dark hair, slightly tousled as if he had just rolled out of bed. And the smirk. That devil-may-care grin that sent a flutter straight to my stomach. It was him. The guy who'd been living across the street from me for the past few months. I'd seen him a few times from a distance, catching glimpses of him walking to his truck or working on his car in the driveway, his muscles flexing with every movement. He was always wearing that cocky, knowing smile, like he had the world at his feet. And from the way he moved, I had no doubt that he could have any woman he wanted. Hell, any person he wanted. And now, here he was, strolling over to my car like he was some sort of knight in shining armor. Need some help? His voice was rough, like he'd been talking all day, but smooth at the same time, like dark honey, thick and rich. My pulse skipped, and I tried not to let my nerves get the better of me. Yeah. I managed my throat dry. The car just died. I was supposed to be in town. Well, a while ago. So, if you could. I can take a look. He was already leaning against the hood of my car, his gaze fixed on the engine like he was reading a book. You've got a blown alternator. I can fix it, but it'll take a little time. How long are you in a rush for? I'm late, I stammered, my mind still reeling. He was right there, standing so close to me that I could smell the faint scent of gasoline on his clothes, mixed with something woodsy, something masculine that made my stomach tighten. I have a meeting and... You should have called earlier. He cut me off, still not looking at me, but the tone in his voice was soft, teasing. But don't worry. I've got you covered. There was something about the way he said that, like he wasn't just talking about fixing my car, but taking care of everything. It felt too personal, too easy. I couldn't shake the way my heart raced at the sound of his voice. How his presence filled the small space of my car like it was the only thing that mattered. He popped the hood, revealing the tangled mess of wires and metal that had caused my car to break down. As he leaned over the engine, I couldn't help but stare at him. The way his muscles moved beneath his shirt as he worked. How his hands, rough from what I imagined was years of hard labor, seemed to glide over the machinery like he knew it better than his own body. "Do you do this often?" I asked, my voice sounding shaky even to my own ears. He glanced up at me with that cocky smirk, his eyes meeting mine. And for a brief moment, the world seemed to slow down. "You could say I know my way around cars, and I know how to fix things when they break." My breath caught. Was he talking about the car? Or something else? I swallowed hard and tried to look away, but my eyes were drawn back to him, to the way his muscles flexed as he worked, to the ease with which he handled everything. There was something magnetic about him, something that pulled at me with a force I couldn't ignore. He leaned in closer to the engine, and I swear I felt the air around us change. He was so close I could feel the heat radiating off his body. My chest tightened, and I had to fight the urge to reach out and touch him. The last thing I needed right now was to let my attraction to this guy get in the way of getting my car fixed. But as he glanced up at me again, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Something dark, something knowing. I couldn't tell if it was the way he was looking at me, or just my nerves playing tricks, but I felt a jolt of desire run through me. A spark that shouldn't be there. Not with him. Not with the guy who lived across the street. Not with the guy who was just fixing my car. But in that moment, I couldn't deny it. Something was shifting between us, and I wasn't sure if I was ready for it. The sound of metal scraping against metal fills the air, and I can't tear my eyes away from him. It's strange how something as mundane as a car repair can feel so charged. His hands move with practiced precision as he works under the hood, tightening this, adjusting that, the muscles in his arms flexing with each move. The way his fingers graze the car's engine has my mind running in a direction I definitely don't want it to. I try to focus on anything but him. On the way the wind whips through the trees, on the dusty gravel beneath my feet. But every time I glance back at him, I can't ignore the pull. He's effortlessly confident, not rushing, as if he's done this 1,000 times before. And maybe he has. Never seen someone work on a car so smoothly, I say, trying to sound casual, to deflect the tension that's building in my chest. Never seen someone work on a car so smoothly, I say, trying to sound casual, to deflect the tension that's building in my chest. He looks up, that smirk of his turning into something darker, something knowing. "Well, you know," he says, wiping his hands on a rag. "Cars and I have a pretty long history. You could say I'm good with my hands." The way he says it, slow and deliberate, makes my breath catch. It's not the kind of comment I expected, and for a moment, I'm speechless. I don't know whether he's talking about the car or something else entirely. My heart thuds in my chest, and I clear my throat, trying to play it off. "Well, I'm glad you're good with your hands, then. I really don't want to be stranded out here for too long." His eyes flick up at me again, and that damn grin of his widens, like he knows exactly how much he's affecting me. His gaze lingers, intense and heavy, before he goes back to work on the engine. But it's impossible to ignore how his body moves as he shifts, his broad shoulders flexing, the tattoos on his arms rippling with each motion. I can't help but stare. My pulse is racing, my thoughts a tangled mess. The way he leans over the hood, the way his shirt pulls tight over his chest, it all feels intimate. The closeness, the way our space seems to shrink the longer he works on my car. He brushes past me as he moves to the other side of the vehicle, his arm grazing mine as he leans over the hood. It's a small, innocent contact, but to me, it feels like a jolt of electricity. My skin tingles where he touched me, and I have to bite my lip to stop myself from making any noise. He notices, of course. He always notices. "Careful," he says, his voice low, almost teasing. "You're staring again." Not that I mind. I force my gaze down to the ground, feeling heat crawl up my neck. I wasn't even trying to be obvious, but the way he catches me makes it impossible to pretend I'm not attracted to him. "I wasn't staring," I mutter, but the words come out weaker than I intended. He lets out a low chuckle, and I can feel the vibrations in my chest. "Sure you weren't. It's okay. I don't bite, unless you want me to." My head snaps up, and I lock eyes with him. His face is still a mix of amusement and something deeper, something that sends a shiver straight down my spine. His lips curl into that damn grin again, and for a moment, I wonder if he's messing with me on purpose. Maybe he's just enjoying seeing me squirm. But there's something in his gaze, something genuine, something daring, that makes my stomach flip. His words are so casual, but there's an edge to them, something unspoken that hangs between us. I try to focus on the car, but it's no use. I'm distracted by him, by the heat in his stare, by the way he makes me feel like I'm the only thing he sees in this moment. "So, what's your name anyway?" I ask, needing something to break the tension. It's hard to focus on the conversation when every inch of me is tuned into him, to the way his hands move, to the way his body shifts with every motion. "Aaron," he says, not missing a beat, though his eyes never leave mine. "And you?" "Lucas," I reply, feeling the flush on my cheeks again. "Lucas," he repeats, as if testing the name on his tongue. "Nice. I'll try to remember that." I nod, trying to focus, trying to ignore how the simple sound of my name from his lips makes my heart race. For the next few minutes, there's only the sound of Aaron working on my car, but I can't stop watching him. It's like a magnet I can't escape. He's so focused, so skilled with his hands, it's hard not to be impressed. I keep telling myself to look away, to stop being so obvious, but I can't. Not when every movement he makes feels like it's meant for me. And then it happens again. He moves past me, this time a little closer than before. His shoulder brushes mine, and I feel it in my chest, my body responding before my mind has a chance to catch up. This time, though, I don't pull away. I let him, and when I do, it's like everything else fades into the background. I forget about the car. I forget about my meeting. I forget everything except him. His breath is warm against my ear as he leans in just slightly, his voice a husky whisper. "You really shouldn't stare so much, Lucas," he murmurs, the words almost a challenge. I swallow hard, feeling a knot form in my stomach. "I wasn't staring," I say again, but this time, my voice lacks conviction. He doesn't respond at first, just continues to work on the car. But there's a glint in his eyes that tells me he knows exactly what he's doing. He's teasing me, pushing my buttons, and for some reason, I don't want him to stop. Finally, he pulls back, wiping his hands on a rag and glancing up at me. "I'm almost done," he says casually, but the look he gives me makes my skin prickle. "But I think you've got something else you want to say." I freeze. The heat in his voice, the look in his eyes, It's all too much. Too real. I should tell him I'm fine. That I'm not nervous, not confused. But instead, I find myself taking a small step closer to him. Just one step. And in that moment, I realize I want more than just a simple car repair. And for the first time in a long time, I'm ready to let someone, break through the walls I've built around myself. The garage is suffocating. The air is thick, the kind of heat that presses against you, making every breath feel labored. The sharp scent of oil, metal, and sweat fills the space, mixing with the musty smell of the car engine. But it's not just the heat that's making it hard to breathe. It's him, Aaron, the mechanic. He moves around the engine with a kind of practiced grace, his muscles rippling under his shirt with every twist, every turn. The way he's so in control of the situation makes my mind go blank, and all I can focus on is the way his body moves. How the fabric of his shirt clings to his skin, how his arms flex, the tattoos on his biceps making my pulse quicken. "You can stick around while I finish up," he says, his voice breaking through my haze of thoughts. He doesn't look at me when he speaks, focused on the engine, but there's something in his tone that makes my chest tighten. "Might need a ride back to town when I'm done, right?" "Yes, sure," I reply, almost too quickly. My mouth is dry, and I'm not sure if it's from the heat or the way he's making me feel. I try to tell myself it's nothing, that I'm just overthinking it. But every time he moves, every time he leans over the car, I feel the space between us shrink. His body brushes against mine, just enough to make my heart skip a beat. The first time it happens, it's almost accidental, his shoulder grazing mine as he adjusts something under the hood. The second time is more deliberate, the back of his hand grazing my forearm as he reaches past me. Each time, the spark is there, sharp, electric. I feel it everywhere. I try to ignore it, to focus on the car, on the fact that I'm stranded out here, that I'm late, that I have places to be. But I can't. All I can think about is him. His voice breaks the silence, low and teasing. "You okay there, Lucas? You look a little flustered." His voice breaks the silence, low and teasing. "You okay there, Lucas? You look a little flustered." I freeze. My breath catches in my throat as I glance up at him. And for a second, the world feels like it's spinning. The way his lips curve into that knowing smile, the way his eyes catch mine. Like he knows exactly what's going on in my head. It's like he can see right through me. "I'm fine," I say, trying to sound normal. Trying to sound like this isn't bothering me. But my voice cracks, and I can feel my cheeks flush, betraying me. He leans in closer to the engine, his body brushing against mine again, this time with purpose. The heat of his skin makes me shiver. I can't help it. I feel like I'm being pulled toward him, like gravity is shifting, pulling us closer with every passing second. He glances at me again, catching my eye, and for a moment, it feels like the whole world stops. He smirks, that familiar, cocky grin that's been making my pulse race all day. "Didn't realize I was causing such a reaction," he says, his voice teasing. "But there's something else in it, something darker, like he's enjoying watching me unravel." I don't know how to respond. Part of me wants to walk away, to tell him this is ridiculous, that I'm not some guy who gets distracted by a mechanic with muscles and a smile. But the other part of me, the part one can't control, the part that's been burning since the moment he showed up, wants to stay, wants to lean into this, wants to see where it goes. I didn't say anything. I manage, but my voice is hoarse, a little too shaky. Aaron doesn't say anything at first. He just keeps working on the car. But his proximity is driving me crazy. The way his arm brushes against mine again. The way his breath feels warm on my neck as he adjusts something on the hood. I shift, trying to find a more comfortable position, but all I can do is stare at the back of his head, at the dark strands of his hair, at the tattoos that peek out from under his sleeves. I can feel my body heating up, my thoughts getting clouded. Then, without warning, he leans back and stretches, his back arching in that effortless way that makes my stomach flip. The muscles in his back flex, and I can't help but look. His shirt pulls tight over his shoulders, the fabric clinging to his skin like a second layer. He catches me staring this time, but instead of looking away, he holds my gaze, his eyes locking with mine. "You really don't have to be so obvious about it, Lucas," he murmurs, his voice low and husky. I swallow hard, feeling like I'm losing control of my own body. My heart is hammering in my chest. My palms are sweating, and I'm sure he can feel the tension between us. The way I'm drawn to him is terrifying, because I know where it could lead, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that. I'm not, I manage to whisper, but it comes out as more of a breath than a sentence. He takes a step closer, and this time, I don't move away. I'm rooted to the spot, my body betraying me. His proximity is unbearable. His presence is overwhelming in the best way. I can feel the heat radiating off him, and for a moment, I wonder if he can feel mine too. "You sure?" he asks, his lips barely a whisper now, his breath warm against my ear. "Because I think you want me to be." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. My mind races, my heart thunders in my chest, and I have to fight to keep myself from reacting too much. But it's impossible. The way he stands so close, his body almost touching mine, the way his breath tickles my skin, the way he makes me feel like I'm the only person in the world, it's too much. Before I can respond, he steps back, his smirk still in place, but his eyes tell a different story. There's something deeper there, something raw and unspoken. "I'll finish up in a minute," he says, but I can't help but notice the way his voice shakes slightly, like he's just as affected as I am. I nod, trying to collect myself, but every part of me is on fire, every part of me screaming for more of him. This is going to be harder than I thought. The minutes stretch out into hours as I sit in the corner of Aaron's garage, watching him work. Every time I think the repair is almost done, he finds something else that needs fixing, something small but important that adds another layer of complexity to the job. The hum of the garage is steady, the clank of tools against metal, the buzz of the fluorescent lights above us. All of it feels far away, drowned out by the rhythm of my thoughts. And my thoughts are completely consumed by him. The air is thick with the smell of oil and sweat, and I'm pretty sure it's not just the heat making the space feel suffocating anymore. My mind is hazy, distracted. I keep stealing glances at him, unable to stop myself. His movements are fluid, practiced. His muscles flex with each twist of the wrench, each adjustment he makes. There's something hypnotic about it. It's as if he's in his element, and I'm just an observer. Except I don't want to be just an observer anymore. I want to be more. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, Aaron wipes his brow with the back of his hand, standing up and stretching. His shirt rides up slightly, revealing a sliver of his toned abdomen, and I feel my pulse quicken at the sight. "All right," he says, exhaling sharply. "I think we've made enough progress for now. Let's take a break." I blink, unsure if I heard him correctly. A break? I hadn't realized how much time had passed. In my head, I tell myself I should be relieved. A break sounds good. I could use a few minutes to clear my head, to regain some composure. But as he steps over to the fridge, pulling out a bottle of water and handing it to me, all I can think about is how close he is. How easily he's slipping under my skin. "You good?" he asks, leaning against the workbench, his arms crossed over his chest, his eyes fixed on me with a steady intensity that makes me feel like I'm being dissected. "Yeah, I'm fine." I answer a little too quickly. My voice is rough, betraying me again. I take a long drink of water, hoping the coolness will help settle the storm inside me, but it does nothing to calm my racing heart. He chuckles softly, like he knows exactly what I'm thinking. "You don't have to pretend, Lucas. I can tell when something's on your mind." I glance up at him, surprised by how effortlessly he reads me. I don't want to let him see the mess inside my head, the turmoil that's threatening to break free. I want to stay composed, to keep this casual, like this is just another mechanic and customer scenario. But the more I try to resist, the harder it becomes. We stand there in silence for a few moments, both of us sipping our water, neither of us really saying anything. But there's an electric tension in the air, thick and palpable. Every time I glance at him, his gaze catches mine, and something unspoken passes between us. His eyes drop to my lips briefly, and then back up to my eyes, and I feel a jolt of heat run through me. Without thinking, I set my water bottle down on the workbench, my fingers brushing the metal surface. Aaron watches me, his gaze never leaving mine. Without thinking, I set my water bottle down on the workbench, my fingers brushing the metal surface. Aaron watches me, his gaze never leaving mine. For a moment, I think he's about to say something, but instead, he just steps closer. His proximity makes my breath hitch. There's no space between us now. No distance. I can feel the heat radiating from his body. Feel the tension build like something tangible between us. And then, without warning, his hand brushes against mine, grazing it lightly. I freeze. I don't know why I do. I want to pull away, to keep things in check, to keep my distance, but I can't. I just stay there, frozen, my skin tingling where his hand touched mine. The touch lingers for a second longer than it should, and I feel something snap in me. It's electric. It's undeniable. His voice is low, almost a whisper. "Did you feel that?" I can't speak. I can't form words. All I can do is nod, my breath shallow, my heart pounding in my chest. I want to say something, anything to make this feel less charged, less dangerous, but my words are caught in my throat. I've never been so acutely aware of my body before. How badly I want him. How much this feels like it's spiraling out of control. Aaron tilts his head slightly, studying me with those intense eyes. Then, almost as if he's trying to test me, he lets his fingers linger on mine just a little longer. And I can't help the sharp intake of breath that follows. The way his hand fits with mine so perfectly feels like it was always meant to be this way. And I hate how right it feels. "You're not as subtle as you think, Lucas," he says, his voice a mix of amusement and something darker. "I can see the way you look at me, the way you can't keep your eyes off me." My voice falters, and I feel exposed in a way I'm not used to. The words die on my lips. I want to argue, to tell him that he's wrong, but I can't, because he's right. I can't take my eyes off him. I can't stop thinking about him. The pull between us is too strong, too magnetic. Aaron takes another step closer, his body now brushing against mine. I'm standing so close to him that I can feel the heat radiating off his skin. Feel the subtle shift of his muscles as he moves. His chest brushes against mine, and I swear my breath hitches again. His eyes flicker down to my lips, and then back up to meet my gaze. "This feels like something, doesn't it?" he murmurs, his voice thick with intent. I nod again, my chest tight, my thoughts clouded with desire. Everything in me is screaming to pull away, to put some distance between us. But the part of me that's been aching for him for so long, it's winning. It wants this. I want this. And no matter how much I try to tell myself that it's wrong, that I shouldn't want this, I can't fight it anymore. The moment hangs in the air, thick and charged, like the calm before the storm. And I'm not sure who makes the first move, but suddenly, his lips are on mine, soft but demanding. And everything I've been trying to ignore, everything I've been running from, comes crashing down in that one kiss. It's slow, exploratory, like he's testing the waters. But it's also sure, as if he already knows exactly what he's doing to me. And I know, right then and there, that I've crossed a line. And there's no going back. I've never been this aware of someone before. Every tiny movement, every word, every glance. It's as if my entire being is tuned to him. I can't help but notice how the muscles in his arms flex as he works, how his hands move with such precision and confidence. I try to focus on my car, on the repairs he's making, but it's like everything else in the garage is background noise to the man standing in front of me. Every time he gets close, my body reacts before my mind can even process it. The heat from his body radiates over to me in waves, and the smell of grease and sweat lingers in the air like a drug I can't escape. It's almost suffocating, but it's not just the stifling heat of the garage. It's the tension, the intensity that seems to crackle between us. Every time he moves, I feel it. Every time his eyes meet mine, there's this silent understanding. I can't put it into words, but I know he feels it too. Almost done, Aaron says, pulling a wrench from his tool belt as he bends over the engine. His voice is low, smooth, and for some reason, it makes my chest tighten. I nod absently, trying not to focus too much on him. You've been at this for a while, I mutter, leaning back against the workbench. I don't know why I said it. It's just an excuse to keep the conversation going, to keep the tension between us alive. He turns his head slightly, giving me a glance from over his shoulder. Would you prefer I rush? Or are you enjoying the view? I blink, momentarily thrown off by the smirk that tugs at his lips. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's toying with me, and he's doing it effortlessly. My breath catches in my throat as I try to act unaffected. I didn't say I was enjoying the view. I reply, though my voice betrays me, low and thick with something I can't hide. Aaron chuckles softly, but it's not a playful laugh. There's something darker behind it, something predatory. He knows I'm reacting to him. He knows that every touch, every look, is getting under my skin. When he stands up from the car, wiping his hands on a rag, he steps closer to me. There's barely any space between us now. His presence surrounds me, fills the space in ways I don't know how to deal with. My pulse quickens as I instinctively step back, but it's useless. He's right there. You know, Aaron says, his voice a little quieter now. You can stop pretending. It's obvious that you're as into this as I am. I should pull away. I should step back, regain my composure. But instead, I feel a pull, an invisible tether that keeps me close to him. His words linger in the air. And for the first time in a long time, I let myself feel it. The electricity, the heat, the undeniable chemistry that's been building between us since the moment he stepped into my life. I'm not pretending, I finally say, my voice barely above a whisper. It's true. I'm not pretending, but I'm also not sure what I want anymore. The tension, the pull, it's overwhelming. Aaron doesn't say anything at first. He just looks at me, eyes dark and intense, his gaze sweeping over my face like he's studying me. I try to keep my breathing steady, but it's hard when all I can think about is the way his lips curve into that knowing smile. That smile that tells me he's not just a mechanic fixing a car. He's something else entirely. Something I'm not sure I'm ready to face. Then, without warning, he leans in, closing the distance between us. His breath is warm against my skin, and my heart skips a beat as I freeze, unsure of what to do. And then, before I can make up my mind, his lips brush against mine. It's gentle at first, a soft touch, but it's enough to make everything inside me ignite. I don't know what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't this. The kiss deepens almost immediately, and for a few seconds, nothing else matters except the way his lips move against mine. I can taste the faint trace of oil and sweat on him, but it's strangely intoxicating. His hands come up to cup my face, his fingers warm against my skin, and I let him pull me closer. I can't think. I don't want to think. There's only the feeling of his lips against mine, the heat of his body pressing into me, the undeniable pull that has me unable to step back. I want this. God, I want this. He groans softly as his hands slide down to my neck, his thumbs tracing over the sensitive skin there. I shiver at the touch, the sensation sending a rush of heat through me. I feel like I'm falling, tumbling into something I don't understand but can't resist. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing heavily, our foreheads resting against each other. I can't even look at him right now, not with the storm of emotions crashing inside me. You're not as innocent as you look, Aaron murmurs, his lips brushing against my ear. The way he says it makes my skin burn, a rush of heat pooling in my stomach. He's not wrong. I can feel it too. There's something raw between us, something dangerous, and I'm not sure I'm ready for it. But I also don't want to pull away. I start, but my words get caught in my throat. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. I can't think when he's this close. When he's touching me like this. Aaron pulls back just enough to look me in the eye, his expression unreadable. For a moment, we just stand there, staring at each other, both of us trying to make sense of what just happened. Then he smiles. It's slow, like he knows exactly what he's done to me. You're not the only one who can't resist, he says softly. I swallow hard, my throat dry. I don't know how to respond. I don't know what's happening between us, but I know I can't stop it. I can't stop him. And I don't think I want to. I pull back, breathless, my mind spinning. This wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to feel this way. He's a mechanic. I'm just a guy with a broken car. I came in here to get my engine fixed, not to fall into something like this. I should have left already. I know that. I should have driven off as soon as the repairs were done. But instead, here we are, standing mere inches apart, the tension between us thick enough to choke on. I try to breathe, but my chest is tight, my heart racing far too fast for comfort. I stare at him, unsure of what to say, unsure of what I'm even supposed to be feeling. He watches me, his gaze like a slow burn, those dark eyes full of something I can't quite identify. Look, I finally managed to say, my voice a little shaky. This isn't what I came here for. But before I can finish, he steps forward, cutting me off. His hand reaches up, fingers grazing the side of my jaw, his touch sending sparks across my skin. I know exactly what you came here for, he says, his voice low, seductive. And you got it. But you're not leaving, are you? I swallow hard, the words caught in my throat. He's right. I'm not leaving. Not yet. My car's still here, and for some reason, so am I. But it's not just that. There's something else, something undeniable drawing me in. I take a step back, trying to regain control, but it's impossible. I'm already too far gone. His hands are on me again, pulling me back into his chest. And this time, I don't even try to resist. I let him. I let myself fall into him. The heat of his body pressing against mine like a force I can't escape. Tell me you're not thinking about it, he murmurs, his lips brushing against my ear, sending a shiver down my spine. Tell me you don't want this. The words don't come. How can they? How can I deny it when every part of me is screaming for more? I don't have an answer. Not the one he wants to hear, at least. His hand slides to the back of my neck, pulling me closer, and his lips crash onto mine. It's urgent this time, desperate even, like he's been waiting for me to let go. And maybe, just maybe, I am. I melt into the kiss, my mind blanking, leaving behind only the feeling of his lips, his taste, his scent that fills the space around us. His hands move lower, pressing against the small of my back, pulling me even closer as if he wants to erase the distance between us entirely. I can feel the hard line of his body against mine, and every instinct in me says to pull him even closer, to not think, to just let go. But then, a small voice in the back of my mind rises, just loud enough to make me hesitate. This isn't right. I can't get tangled up in this. He's a mechanic. I'm just a guy with a broken car. We're two completely different people, and this is dangerous. I pull away abruptly, breaking the kiss, but he doesn't let me go. His arms stay tight around me, his face inches from mine, eyes dark with desire and something else. He doesn't seem to care that I've pulled back, doesn't seem to care that I'm thinking too much. You can't keep running from this, he says softly, his voice tinged with a hint of frustration. You want me just as much as I want you. I don't know. I admit, my chest heaving. I try to take a step back, but I'm already too deep in this to turn back now. I'm already drowning in the pull between us. I don't know what this is. What we are. His thumb brushes over my bottom lip, and the action is so simple, so gentle, that it makes me weak. You don't have to know right now, he says. You just have to feel. I close my eyes, breathing him in. The smell of oil, sweat, and something deeper, something raw, mixes with the sharp, metallic scent of the garage. It's too much, but it's also everything I've wanted. I've wanted this touch, this closeness. I've wanted the way he makes me feel like I'm the only thing that matters in the world. When I open my eyes again, his gaze has softened, just slightly. His hand is still at the back of my neck, his thumb moving over my skin with a tenderness that makes my heart flutter. But there's something else there, something deeper, something serious. You've got me, whether you want me or not, he says, his voice low, almost a whisper. But don't think I'm gonna let you walk away without having what I want first. The words hit me like a slap, but in a way, I don't mind. It's not anger in his tone. It's hunger. And I realize in that moment that I've been craving that hunger. Craving him. I glance at the door, the car still sitting there, waiting for repairs to be finished. I should leave. I should drive away and pretend this didn't happen. But instead, I find myself nodding, my voice barely a whisper. Okay, just take it slow. His smirk widens, and for the first time, I see something softer behind his eyes. Slow isn't really my thing, he replies, his voice almost a growl, before he pulls me in for another kiss. This time, there's no hesitation. No more second-guessing. No more questions. Just him and me. And the way our bodies fit together like two pieces of a puzzle I didn't know I was missing. Maybe this is exactly what I need. And maybe, just maybe, I'm ready to find out exactly what happens next. The engine hums softly beneath us. The rumble of the truck a steady pulse that seems to match the rapid beating of my heart. I glance over at him, the mechanic whose touch still lingers on my skin, but I quickly look away, embarrassed by the way my pulse races at just the thought of him. The car's fixed, but somehow, I feel like I'm broken. Or maybe it's just that something inside me has shifted, and I don't know how to put it back. The silence in the truck is suffocating. It wraps around us like a heavy blanket, thick and uncomfortable. He's driving with his usual ease, hands on the wheel focused, but I can feel the tension radiating off him. It's different from before. Before when we were in the garage, and I could ignore the undercurrent between us. Now, it's like the air is too charged, every tiny movement too intimate, every breath too loud. I should say something. I should break this silence that feels like it's going to choke me. But I can't find the words. What do I even say after what happened? After the way he kissed me like I was the only thing that mattered? After the way I kissed him back, like I needed him more than air? I turn my gaze to the window, watching the blur of streetlights pass by, their faint glow catching on the edges of the glass. Every stoplight feels like a moment too long, like an eternity stretching out between us. And every time I look over at him, his jaw clenched, his eyes forward, I feel the weight of his presence next to me, and it's more than I can bear. My fingers twitch, aching to reach out to him, to touch him again, to bridge the gap that's widening with every passing second. But I don't. I can't. What would that even mean? Was it just a heat of the moment thing for him? Something fleeting that he doesn't even care about? Or does he feel the same way I do? Like there's something more between us than just a physical connection? The questions swirl in my mind, but I don't have answers. I'm afraid of what I might hear if I ask him. What if he tells me it was just an itch he needed to scratch? A quick release that doesn't mean anything. Finally, the silence becomes unbearable, and I break it, my voice quieter than I intended. So, do you think the car's okay now? He glances at me briefly, his lips curving into a small, almost unreadable smile. It's fine, he says, his voice low, steady. Runs better than before. You don't need to worry about it. I nod, biting my lip. It's ridiculous, the way I'm acting. I came here for a car repair, for God's sake. But now, I feel like I've signed up for something far more complicated than I'm ready for. We pass another stoplight, and the truck slows to a crawl, the moment stretching out again. I want to ask him what this all means. What happened in the garage? What the hell is happening between us? But the words stick in my throat, tight and unspoken. You okay? He asks suddenly, his voice softer than before, almost like he's hesitant, like he's reading the air between us, sensing the unspoken things hanging there. You've been quiet. I don't know how to answer. I don't know what to say. So, I lie. I'm fine. Just thinking. About? He presses gently, his eyes flicking over to me for a brief second before focusing back on the road. I don't know if I can tell him the truth. I don't know if I can say what I'm feeling. The way my heart races every time I think about him. About that kiss. About the way he makes me feel like I'm the only person in the world when I'm with him. But I can't lie either. Not entirely. About us, I guess. His hand tightens on the wheel, and for a split second, I wonder if I've said too much. But then he says something that catches me off guard. I don't want to make things complicated for you, he says, his tone a little too serious. I know this. What happened, it wasn't planned, but I don't want you thinking I'm just some guy who uses people and moves on. I'm not that guy. I feel a strange mix of relief and something else I can't quite place. His words hang in the air, lingering between us. Then what do you want? I finally ask, the question slipping out before I can stop it. I mean, what's this? What happened with us? He doesn't answer right away. And when I glance over, I see a flicker of something in his eyes, something deeper than just physical attraction. Something I didn't expect. He takes a breath, his jaw tight as if weighing his words carefully. I don't know, he admits. But I'm not going to pretend like I don't want more. I'm not going to ignore the fact that I've been thinking about you since we first met. I freeze, caught off guard. I want to ask him more, to demand to know exactly what he means by that. But I can't. I don't know how to navigate this feeling. This strange combination of hope and fear that's rising inside me. Are you saying you want what? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. He shifts in his seat, glancing over at me briefly before looking back at the road. I want whatever you want, he says simply. But I'm not going to force you into anything. I'm just here. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know if I'm relieved or terrified. All I know is that I've never felt so unsure, so pulled in two different directions at once. But for the first time in a long time, I think I might actually be willing to take the leap. We drive in silence after that, the weight of his words settling between us, both of us lost in our own thoughts. The miles stretch on, the truck moving steadily through the night, and I find myself wondering, not for the first time, where this ride is taking us. He calls me later that night. No surprise. I can't get him out of my head. But when his voice comes through the phone, I can hear the uncertainty in it. He wants to see me again, but he's cautious, maybe even a little nervous. I'm not sure what this is, but I can feel the connection between us. Stronger now, undeniable. I tell him I'll meet him. What happens next could be a disaster, but I'm willing to risk it. We meet at his garage again. This time, he's off the clock, and the tension that's been building for days spills out. We kiss again, but this time it's different, faster, hungrier, like we both know exactly what we want. His hands are all over me, exploring, claiming. I don't think about anything except him, and it's the most liberating feeling I've ever had. When we pull away, breathless, he whispers, I don't know where this is going, but I want it to go somewhere. The next time I'm in his garage, it's not for a car repair. It's for me. My body's a mess of desire, and he's the only one who can fix it. As he takes control, guiding me through every inch of pleasure, I forget everything but him. His touch is fire, his voice a constant hum in the back of my mind. And when I finally lose control, the world disappears. He's all I see, all I feel. And when I scream his name, I know this is just the beginning of something more.